Hiya, a garda Conistatashiv is Misha Owen o Bite Size Irish. Tamen Sha, I'm here with Siobhán. Siobhán Conistatatu.
Gymach yn magad agus o hyn.
Oh, sure, Eros, Guramina Magat. I was down with the kind fwy an S quail as lehan in yof. So today we're going to talk about the S sound in the Irish language and how it changes depending on whether it's broad or slender. So we're going to have to talk about what does broad mean, what does slender mean, and we're going to give a couple of examples. And the reason we're thinking about this is that we're running a Ceardlann Foghraíochta, so a workshop around pronunciation around the Irish language in March 2020. That's before Lá Padric, St. Patrick's Day, around seachtain na Gaeilge. So we're really looking forward to that. So Siobhán, there's two basic ways to pronounce S in Irish, isn't that right?
There is. There's the S lehan, as you might call it in Irish, which is the broad S. Now, what that means is you hear the S being pronounced similar to the S in English, like let's say in the English word soap. So that's why, let's say in Irish you have just Saturday, just Saturday. That S sound there. So that's called the S lehan, or the broad S. Now, there's the other way of pronouncing the S, and it's called S quail, or the slender S, and that's pronounced similar to how SH is pronounced in English, like in the word shampoo. So a good example of this is mise. So here's a mise, that's how it's pronounced. So you can see it's M-I-S-E. So that's what makes it quail or slender, the I or the E, because those are called slender vowels in Irish. So
okay, so I think we'll have to step back a little, because so the basic way you're saying that S works in Irish, if it's the broad S, it's like English. And there's another way, like Misha, it's like SH in English, so sh sound. So what do we mean? You started talking about I and E there. So what gives us a broad or slender sound? What does it mean?
So what gives us the broad or slender sound is the vowels that are beside the consonant. For example, is here. So this is because is here is surrounded by slender vowels, it makes the consonant slender. If it was surrounded by broad vowels, that's the rest of the vowels, O and U, it would be a broad vowel. Of course, it doesn't, I and E doesn't always have to be there. It could be just E, could be just I. So I guess this is a bit of a simplistic way to look at it, but it's what works and what will help you to read and understand Irish and pronounce it.
Okay, so we group the vowels a little differently in Irish than in English, I think, because we have this concept of A, O, and U are their own certain group, and I and E are their own certain group. So those are the 5 vowels. And the way I think about it, Siobhán, I don't know if you agree, the slender vowels, I and E, which we have right here with Misha, they're like, your mouth almost closes a little. It's eh and E. They're slender sounds, whereas A, O, and U are these broad o sounds, right? Would you see the same distinction?
I would, yeah, I'd agree, ain't you? I agree there. I guess that's why they're even called it, you could say. Yeah, it's a good way of thinking of them, because you do pronounce them differently anyway.
Yeah. So for me, it's always nice to link it back to how physically you're saying these sounds. And I know, like, if you write things down, you have to like think about different rules, and you're wondering to yourself, why does this set of letters, why are they pronounced this way? So I like it always to link it back to the physicality of when I'm saying I or E in English, in Irish, it's I or eh, and those are slender sounds. And if I start from that fact, I can work out the rules from there. So the slender S, again, is the kind of sh sound. Is there another example, Siobhán, you can think of, Siobhán, where there's a slender S? in
Well,
Irish?
as you mentioned there's my name, and I can write that up there now, and you can see how that looks. So SI, so the I there, so it's not surrounded by vowels or anything. It's at the S there is at the very beginning of the word, but still, no matter how you pronounce the name in its entirety, be it Siobhán or Siobhán or whichever,
next to it.
That's it. It's the SI. No matter what, SI, no matter your dialect or whatever, it's going to be pronounced sh. That sort of sound, like Siobhán, Siobhán. It doesn't matter how you pronounce the rest of it. That's the thing that stays the same. So that's a good example. Another common word would be seachtain. A bit of a longer word, of course.
Like seachtain na Gaeilge, the week of Irish. Yeah.
Exactly. And you can see that here. So seacht, you might recognize that from the number 7, seacht. So the seachtain is a week. So it's E there, so seachtain, seachtain. Doesn't matter how you pronounce the rest of it again, depending on dialect. If you pronounce it a bit differently from how I pronounce it, still it's going to be, the first letter is going to sound the same, or should do anyway, seachtain. So that's how that works. It's another good example.
Lovely, yeah. I guess then if we go to a couple of broad S examples, so that then we can compare and contrast. So we've got mise, seachtain, Siobhán. They're all the SH type of sound for like English. So would you have an example of a word in Irish that has the broad S?
A good example of that would be the little word solace, which means light.
Yeah.
Solace. So you can see solace there. It actually is 2 broad S's, solace. So due to the O there after the S and the A before the S, both S's are broad, so solace.
That's really nice, yeah, solace. Maybe a more complicated word I love is suaimhneas. Would you mind putting that up?
Yeah, I'll write that one now.
There are 2 broad S's in this, if I'm not mistaken. So right. Yeah, so the first S, suaimhneas, there's no SH sound there. There's S and U, excuse me, is a broad vowel, like A, O, and U. So the very same for the last S there. It's next to an A. So if you're looking at how things are spelt, this is how you can decipher how a word is pronounced. Yeah, lovely, yeah. So to compare those again, Siobhán, we've got like mise, for example, mise, so there's that SH sound. Or there's the example you gave, like solace, which is the broad S sound. So we really love it, like you were saying, because it's so different, the 2 types of S's in Irish, and that's how to decipher it. So basically, I guess there's exceptions, but basically any word you find in Irish, you can basically decipher how that S should be pronounced. Do you agree?
Oh, I agree. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Look at what sort of vowel is next to it. That's how you know.
Excellent. So I think, Siobhán, we'll leave it at that. We've covered enough for one day. So in March 2020, we're running a Ceardlann Foghraíochta, a pronunciation workshop, which is an interactive workshop over 2 weeks. The plan is a live group video call each day, so over those 10 days, and there'll be handouts. We'll have learning objectives for you, so that by the time you get to the end of the workshop, you should be able to take a little simple paragraph of text and to be able to read out those words and sound like you're speaking Irish, even if you don't understand those words, especially. So we're looking forward to diving into that. But forgetting about that, we hope that you got value from watching this today. And if you have any questions, do get in touch with us. So go to bitesize.irish, our website, and you can send us an email through there. So, Gurmina Mahagata Siobhán, thanks so much for your time.
Gurmina Mahagata on.
Agus fág ma dé mar sin. Okay, slán.
Slán tamil.